Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer and coach from Live, Love, Give, and today I am talking about depression. And this has been a topic that I've spoken to you guys about a couple of different times, but if you haven't heard me talk into the concept of depression before, I want to give you a bit of a perspective first before I dive into today's topic, which is all about the fact that so much of depression is actually suppression. But firstly, I want to dive into my concept around depression and the kind of depression that I am really referring to in today's topic. So for me, what I'm talking about is what I like to refer to as situational depression. So I don't want to dive too much into chemical imbalances and things like that, although that is an area of study for me, and I'm working around learning a lot more about the mind-body connection and what causes that chemical imbalance in terms of our thoughts causing the chemical imbalance, but that's not where I'm going today. Today I am focused on situational depression, which is predominantly about what is going on in your life, the situations that you find yourself in, and oftentimes what you think you want life to look like doesn't look that way. Maybe you're going through some sort of identity shift or crisis. Maybe you lose somebody in your life, either death or, we lose relationships, we break up, maybe we have a health challenge that we didn't expect. That is kind of situational depression. And what I'm referring to today is the fact that so much of that depression that we feel in our lives is actually generated through suppression. And this is one that is very, very, very much linked to the work that I do with everybody that I work with, because my work is to help individuals to actually uncover who they really are and have the courage to live it, to live authentically and courageously, and really to go on that journey of getting rid of all those expectations, all those filters, all those shoulds and expectations as to who they think they should be or who they're told they should be, removing all of those and actually stepping forth from a place of freedom and courage and authenticity and all that great stuff so that they can actually live a life that is truly fulfilling. And so many people get into this state of depression because they are suppressing the truth of who they are. And we walk through life and we just get numb because we are suppressing all of what we think are negative parts of who we are. But what happens is, whenever we suppress anything quote unquote negative, we simultaneously suppress everything positive. So you can't get away with just one-sidedness. You can't just think, oh, I don't like this about me, so I'm just going to suppress it. I'm just going to try and hide it away. I'm just going to pretend that doesn't exist because for whatever reason I've been told that that's not good. Society tells me that. My family tells me that. My friends tell me that. Whatever tells me that. I tell myself that. And what happens is we end up suppressing what we believe to be negative parts of who we are, and simultaneously you can't suppress the bad without suppressing the good or whatever you've deemed positive. So we end up in this state of depression where we just kind of feel numbed out. We just kind of get to this blur, this kind of mediocre, boring kind of don't know if it's good, don't know if it's bad. We're just not even feeling anything anymore. And it's a big reason why I've had personal experience with, going through a period of my life and experiencing situational depression, where all in a matter of, days, I left a relationship of close to 5 years. I lost my home that I'd been living in for about 4 of those years. I also lost my job because of the GFC, the global financial crisis. I lost my very best girlfriend who I confided everything into. I had to move back home for the first time, since being 18 years old, and I had to become a full-time uni student again. Okay, so all of those 6 things I'm just counting off the top of my head right now, along with all the other transitions that have to go along with all of that, all happened for me in a matter of days, and I found myself in a complete state of situational depression, an identity crisis. Who am I without this partner? Who am I without living here? Who am I without having this best friend? Who am I without having that job? Who am I having to go back home? Who am I having to be a uni student again? It's just like all this stuff happening at once, which all of us can find ourselves in at one stage of life or another. And we end up in this situational depression, and we end up suppressing a lot of emotion oftentimes, right? So we don't know where to go. We don't know what to do. We're having to recreate an entire identity. We've lost who we are. And that is a place where we need to not suppress, we need to express. And I feel very grateful that at that time in my life, I was put onto a psychologist who was just the most phenomenal, beautiful woman who absolutely helped me to create space to actually just express and not feel like I was burdening anybody else in my life. And everybody around me at that time, it was before I even discovered what self-development was, everybody around me thought I was fine. I was doing just great, and I was very grateful to have somebody who was kind of like a neutral third party for me to be able to just express, so that because in every other area of my life I felt like I had to suppress all what was going on for me, really, because I didn't want to burden people. I had people in my life who may or may not have been able to really deal with that, and it might have, me sharing that and expressing that might have just created more drama because they weren't able to handle that emotion, and it would have just been something else I would have had to deal with. So I think it's super important to have somebody on your side, somebody who's a neutral third party who you can fully express without feeling like you're burdening them or creating more drama in your life. And so that was hugely helpful for me to be able to express rather than suppress. And what I found was the more I was able to express, the more I was able to get stuff out and work it out and find solutions, find creative solutions, and honor myself on that journey, I actually was able to get out of situational depression. And at the very beginning, I was put on antidepressants. And, I don't want to judge other people for, the service that those antidepressants do for them. For me personally, worst experience ever. Because for me, it just felt like all that was doing was numbing me out more. It was taking away the whole spectrum of emotion. And so I was in this numbed out existence where it actually put me in a lot of fear, actually. So some emotion came to the surface because I felt like, what is this? Like, this is stopping the emotion that would spring me into action to solve the challenges, to realize that the pain of staying the same has gotten to outweigh the pain of change. And so, but with this numbing sort of drugs that they can put you on, and like I said, for some people they absolutely work and support people to get to a position where they can take action. For me, no. They actually suppressed my entire emotional experience, and I wasn't motivated to do anything about my circumstances. And I realized that, luckily. I had a level of consciousness to actually identify that and see that and stop that. And then that took me on a journey of self-discovery so that I could fully express and realize all these authentic parts of me that I was actually suppressing that were creating that depression, and be able to overcome that and transition out of that. So Me sharing this is in the hope that it will hit you as you need it. I love that, we've got this platform where we can talk about stuff that matters, and my purposes of this is if you are currently in a state of depression, or maybe you're currently not, but maybe down the timeline you might find yourself in a state of depression, and hopefully remember this message and realize that so much of depression is actually suppression. So identify, what parts of me am I actually suppressing? What parts of me am I judging to be negative that I don't want to share, that I don't want to express? And who could I go to fully, talk this out, to express more of this, to feel through this and honor myself through this experience, so that I can actually find my way out of it and be able to see that I'm not a depressed person. I am experiencing a situation that is creating depression for me because I'm having to figure things out. It didn't happen like I expected, and I'm going through a bit of, anxiety around this uncertainty that I have to deal with, and I've lost my identity because I'd attached it to the things that I don't have control over, like a person, a place that you live, maybe potentially some health challenges that you just didn't see coming, whatever the challenge is, losing your job because of the global financial crisis, whatever it is, and to take it back on yourself and say, in order to get out of this state of depression, I need to fully express, I need to stop suppressing, I need to find a safe environment to be able to do that and navigate a lot within myself as well, and find a new compelling future for myself that is not reliant on external uncontrollables, but instead it is absolutely reliant on internal complete controllables. And that's what we need to be doing. We need to be working on ourselves, tapping into discovering who we really are, having the courage to fully align with it and move in that direction, so that we can build an extraordinary quality of relationship with ourselves that reinforces whenever we're hit by situational depression or uncertainty in our external environment that we just simply can't control, that we develop a belief within ourselves that we can and will handle every inevitable challenge. We will grow, we will learn, we will thrive in the uncertainty and break through, and we know that everything is on our way, not in our way, and they are the necessary stepping stones for reaching new heights of our potential. So that's all the sort of stuff that we need to be re-transitioning our focus on, and we can only do so by fully expressing and stopping suppressing. So really hope that this is of value to each and every one of you amazing individuals out there. I love that you're joining me today, and I'd love to hear from you. So say hi, let me know where in the world you are tuning in from. Any questions, any comments, you guys know I absolutely love your questions. So always hit me with those, and definitely, if you guys haven't already, make sure that you join us in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. I forgot to put the link up above, but I will do so afterwards. And I've just opened up a few little extra 15-minute power sessions and been connecting with some beautiful human beings out there. So I've just opened my calendar up for a bunch more that I've found some time in my schedule for, and I love getting to connect with you and see what you are currently struggling with as an individual, see how I can best support you, maybe help you shift your perspective, get into an empowered state and break through and stop being limited by those different beliefs, different circumstances, all of the rest of it. So if that interests you, I will definitely put a link to my calendar once I jump off this Facebook Live as well. So let me check in with you guys. And who have I got? I've got Lucy and Sam. Awesome to see you guys. And Dawn's here. I love it. And San. And Betunandan. Hello. And Rowan. And Hassani. And Latif. And Sunul. And Eddie. And hello to you, Dawn. And Oscars, awesome to see you. And thank you, Sam. Loving that you like my hair today. And Judy's here. And Gokul. And Lewis and Rod and Patrick and Gerardo and Justine and Sean and Shane and Jason. from Colombia. I love it. That's so, so cool. And Gerardo, good night to you, my friend. And Sam, I'm loving that you're finding this a great message. Hello, Shane. And Mahmoud, really very good information. You're doing great work. Well, thank you, Mahmoud. I really appreciate your kind words and thank you for being here and tuning in. I love it. And Marianne and Stephen and Wayan and Moyne and Shane, Vanessa, wise beyond your years. Thanks for your wisdom. Oh, that's so kind of you, Shane. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate you being here and I'm loving that you're finding wisdom here. That makes me feel amazing. Thank you so much. And Michael and Andre and Shane, have missed seeing you live. Vanessa, been a little while again, been so busy. Hope you've been well. Well, I'm super grateful to have you back, Shane. Thanks for being here. And yes, I get it. Life is busy and I'm always changing up the times that I even go live. So I'm just grateful that you guys do catch me live whenever you can. So thanks, Shane. And Kuno, hello to you, my friend. And Manan, I'm loving that you're finding some excellence here. I love it. And Sam, love that. Expression, not suppression. Absolutely. We've got to be able to do that. And I know, Sam, you know, you've been in the program with me over these last couple of weeks. And we've been focused very much so on vulnerability and openness and transitioning our definition or relationship with vulnerability, because so many of us think vulnerability is a weakness. It is the absolute greatest strength of humanity to be able to be open, vulnerable, to actually express the truth of what's going on in your internal world. That takes serious courage. And so I want us all to kind of transition out of seeing vulnerability as a weakness and actually seeing that the strongest of strongest in humanity are able to fully express, even though it's a vulnerable thing, it can set them up for that openness. But that's why it's such a strength, because it takes so much courage. So absolutely, Sam, expression, not suppression. Loving that was resonating. And Erin's here, and Leslie, and much love to you, Kuno, and Jody. And I'm loving, Kuno, that this is spot on for you. That's awesome to hear. And Shane, yes, depression can really stop your journey, like putting you on hold. I must agree, so hard, takes so much time to find your way out, some more than others. Best to keep good, positive people around you. Absolutely. And, you know, I think that every single one of us at some point in our lives experiences some form of depression. Like I said, I like to look at most of depression as situational. We all have stuff in our lives that doesn't go according to our plan, right? Most of life is uncontrollable. The only thing that we can ever really control is what we make things mean and the actions that we take personally. We can't control anything else. We can definitely have influence over our circumstances, our environment, the people in our lives. But, you know, we've got to definitely understand that we can't control all those different things. So we are going to find ourselves in these states of situational depression as we go on that journey of, you know, developing ourselves, discovering ourselves, building our level of emotional intelligence, which is being able to make a situation better rather than worse based on our response to it. When we get hit with a situation and we just get into a state of depression, we end up making the situation a whole lot worse. So we know that building our level of emotional intelligence to be able to create space between what's going on in our external world that we can't control and how we're going to respond to that. You know, rather than being reactive and getting into depression and, you know, going against what's actually happening in reality, we can take a step back and realize what's going on, how we want to respond to it, and not go against it and create our own suffering in that way. So absolutely, Shane, I really appreciate you sharing. That's awesome. And Abhishek and Savula and Kuno from Denmark, I love it. And Nefa, hello to you, my friend. And Patty, awesome to see you. And Sam, your authenticity and vulnerability is so beautiful and healing. I really appreciate that. Two of my greatest feeling values, authenticity and vulnerability. So thank you so much, my friend. That's such a beautiful compliment. And Rod's here as well, and William, and Azar, and Sunula, and Donald. Awesome to see you back. It has been a while. I'm grateful to see you here. So guys, really that is my message for you. I'm hoping that it allows you to have a more empowered mindset around these states of depression. See them as being situational. They're not who you are. They're the current experience that you're having. Oftentimes it's when our blueprint of the world is not equating to our reality and what we're really experiencing. So instead of resisting what is and trying to react and fight against what is, we need to be more responsive, and we also need to be more expressive. Stop suppressing. So much of depression is suppression. I hope this was a super valuable message for each and every one of you guys. And as always, last little comments before I sign off. Almost went. Sean's here, and Sunula, and Kuno. Really struggling with this one. Be authentic, expressing myself at work. So that is not creating depression. Remember to communicate respectful to each other. Absolutely. And that's such a great point that you bring up, Kuno, that a lot of us feel like we can't be fully expressive and authentic in our workplace because we're kind of getting paid to be professional and, do our role or whatever. And so when we find ourselves in situations where it would be unemotionally intelligent to be fully expressive in that environment, we have to discover and make room for different environments where we can fully express all of that. So I absolutely feel what you're saying there, Kuno, and I definitely hope that you have people and situations that you are creating in your life where you can absolutely be fully authentic, be all of who you are, and express all of who you are. So thank you so much for sharing that, Kuno. And Anne from Thailand, that's awesome to see you. And Rod, just what I needed to hear right now. Thanks, Vanessa. I'm so grateful to hear that, Rod. Thank you for letting me know. And Jared is here. And Kuno, you're so welcome, my friend. It's great that was of help. And as always, guys, I am sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you, to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's beautiful, amazing, extraordinary, and you're doing something super empowering. And today's message, I'm really hoping served you. And if you're currently not struggling with depression, I hope that, maybe down the track, this message, you're reminded of this message to help you to know that so much of depression is suppression. So realize, take a step back when you feel in those states of depression and realize, what am I suppressing? What's really going on for me? And how can I express that? Who can I express it to? Even if it's to myself, maybe a journaling practice, but the clarity of who you really are will help you out of those states of depression. Absolutely. So guys, that is it from me today. Thank you, Shane. I'm really grateful that this message has made you feel good and better, and take care to you as well, my friend, and to all of you amazing human beings who are able to tune in live. I'm super grateful for each and every one of you. Sending you guys all of my love, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow.